Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be doing a Strixhaven Premier Draft on Magic Arena. Let's jump into our Pack 1, Pick 1 here. So possible options, I do like Kasmina. She is powerful, but really only for blue-green. I don't think she's powerful enough to first pick. You know, there's better options here. I think there's Guiding Voice as an option, Mage Hunter's Onslaught as an option. And I think the safer pick is just going to be Mage Hunter's Onslaught. We'll go with that. And immediately past a Killian. Okay. Despark is solid too, but a lot of the creatures in the set are tokens, so their mana value is not 4 or greater. So we're going to just grab the Killian. Pretty happy with this start. I do think Silverquill is the best archetype in the format. So if we end up in Silverquill, I'm not going to be upset about that. Okay, Devastating Mastery is the rare, pretty much unplayable. We've got Promising Dusk Mage is not good. You don't want to play that card. Make Your Mark is a decent trick, but it's got to be Pest Summoning. Especially in Premier Draft, you know, everybody's played this set before. This is a flashback, so the lesson and learn is probably the most important thing to success in this set, having a couple of those. So if we don't grab these summonings now, we're not going to be able to get them later. You've got to pick them pretty highly. The Spirit Summoning can come around, but that's really the only one. All right, into Silverquill Pledge Mage. Looks like the only real choice here. Brackish Trudge is fine. It's good in Witherbloom. And Pillar Drop Rescuer is fine as well. Really more of a grindy card, and the Silverquill decks just want to beat down. So Silverquill Pledge Mage is really nice. Plus you can trigger it and give it lifelink, so you end up racing if you end up in a mirror match. So being able to race other Silverquill decks is pretty important. Let's see, we've got Reduced to Memory as a decent lesson, but not great. Essence Infusion as a bad trick, but I think it's just going to be... Well, Essence Infusion isn't even a trick, but can be decent as a one-of. And Lorehold Pledge Mage, not really for us. I think we're going to just grab the Inquisition. It's fine. It at least hits creatures. You know, it's not duress. So yeah, we'll grab Inquisition. Yeah, this is looking like a pretty nice start. We'll see how it continues. Okay, we have a tough choice here. I think it's between Study Break and Silverquill Pledge Mage. Not really sure. I kind of want to be on the first Study Break. Just like I said, again, the Learn cards don't tend to come around super late. Okay, so we've got Expel, again, is more for control decks. If you're a slower white deck, Essence Infusion is fine. I do like Professor's Warning as a one-of. I'd have to say that Witherbloom Pledge Mage is probably the best card power level-wise. And there is still a possibility that we're not Silverquill. We're not going to force Silverquill here. I would be open to, you know, playing Witherbloom if that's where we end up. Okay, so Silverwing Laureate is just okay, but Leech Fanatic is a fantastic 2-drop. We don't care about the life gain too much, but again, it can be relevant in races. So happy to pick up our second 2-drop here. Okay. Mana Tithe is okay and limited. But again, I just want to pick up 2-drops. These decks want to be really aggressive, get on the board early. People kind of dirtle around a little bit sometimes. So, if I had more tricks, I would probably take Reflective Golem. But again, I think Study Break is more important to these decks. I do like Reflective Golem, but you want to have a lot of tricks to make it worthwhile. The only thing here that we would play is maybe the Defend the Campus. We don't want to play that card, so we'll just tuck these in the sideboard. Okay, maybe Pillar Drop Rescuer. Again, if we don't get there, we'll play a card like that, but not ideal. Same thing with Spiteful Squad. Not really a card you actively want. The counter stuff in this set for Silverquill is kind of a trap. It's not really that good. You really just want to play 2 drops, 3 drops tricks and get your opponent dead. And these aren't signals to me that this is open, just because, you know, those are pretty weak cards overall. I am happy to play 1 Professor's Warning, though. And now we open a Hoffrey Ghost Forge, which is very, very good, but we're not going to play red-white. I don't think we saw any good red in the first pack, and we're pretty happy to just stay in black-white here. I think it's a pretty clear combat Professor. Wow. Okay. And yeah, we'll just snatch up Paulo here, the Elite Spellbinder. Solid, just a 3/1 flyer. Even without the ability, you'd probably play that card. Okay, so Semester's End is not good. Not really a card we want to play. There's not really much for us here. Again, I don't like Promising Duskmage. Probably just take Lorehold Pledge Mage. We're probably not going to play it. The mana's too difficult. You don't want a 1 white 3-drop in an aggro deck. And an Inkling Summoning. So a pick 4 Summoning is a very good sign that this is going to be open for us. Okay, now we have a choice here between Agonizing Remorse and Spectre of the Fens. I think I want to be on Spectre. This deck needs flyers to finish them off. You know, you get off to an aggressive start against blue-green. They may be stabilized. You need some flyers to peck in. And Agonizing Remorse is not really how we want to spend our turn 2. Although it is playable, but I would rather take Spectre here, I think. Okay, into another potentially Study Break or another 2-drop. We already have 2 Study Breaks. And we have 2 lessons already. It is our only learn. You know what? I'm not sure that we're going to get another chance at these Study Breaks, and they are super important to this deck. And we do have the lessons to justify it, so I think I'm going to grab the 3rd Study Break. I'm not super confident about that. You definitely want a lot of 2-drops in this deck, but those aren't necessarily the premium ones. You know, we were looking for like an Eager First Year, Professor of Symbology, Thunderous Orator, those types of cards. The other 2-drop, the Arrogant Poet, those tend to come around pretty late anyway. I'm a little sad to pass a Leech Fanatic, but I think that's right. And okay, and here we go. We get an Eager First Year, so we're going to snap that one off. Nothing really else in the pack for us there. And we have a choice here between Professor's Warning and nothing else. I'm not happy to pick a Professor's Warning that highly, but nothing else for us there. We're probably not playing this Pillar Drop Rescuer. I mean, hopefully. Hopefully we don't play this Pillar Drop Rescuer. Really liking this deck so far. Okay. Blank pack for us here. We'll just cut the signal and see what comes around. So Star Pupil I don't like, but I'm happy to take another Spectre. Again, we really just want flyers. And if for some reason, you know, your opponent is able to stabilize, that activation's actually pretty nice. Like being able to... It sounds like a lot, 6 mana, but this set is a little bit slower than most. And sometimes you don't curve out in black-white, and you might need a way to use your mana. So Spectre's pretty nice in the late game there. Okay, no real choices here. I guess we could take... let's just cut the signal. Again, hopefully no one's reading Promising Duskmage as a signal, but you never know. This may be a lot of players' first time with this set. Okay, so there's some more 2-drops. I think Beaming Defiance is fine, but again, not something you need to prioritize. We'll take Star Pupil, but hopefully don't have to play it. Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, so that kind of paid off for us. I will play a copy of Unwilling Ingredient. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, this deck just went from B+ to an A, I think, with that single card. Sparring Regimen is absolutely busted. And it learns, so the ability is good enough on its own, but then it actually learns, too. Okay, so we have a choice here between Professor of Symbology and Rise of Exodus, but I think Professor of Symbology is a little more important. Again, it's a cheap creature. It's 2-drop. and it learns, so we get access to our summoning on turn 3. So turn 2 Symbology into turn 3 Inkling Summoning is pretty solid in these decks. So we don't pass Professor Symbology. Okay, we have another interesting choice here between Closing Statement and Combat Professor. I think either one is correct, but I think we're missing removal more than we are missing flyers. I do love Combat Professor, but I think it's got to be the removal here. We really don't have... Well, we have a Mage Hunter's Onslaught and a Closing Statement. The Study Breaks are sort of removal, but... Okay, not happy with any of these. I mean, sometimes Brackish Trudge is okay, like if we have a lot of lifelink, like Leech Fanatic, Silverquill Pledge Mage. This deck's curve is super low, but I still would play a copy of Rise of Exodus. I think Pilgrim of the Ages is okay too, but in a more controlling version. Okay, we get access to another Leech Fanatic, but Silverquill Apprentice is just too good. Again, no real choices. See what we need for the collection. Guess we'll just take our gems. I'm not playing any of those cards. We honestly, the draft could end now, and I would be happy. I think this is coming together really, really nice. Oh, wow. Okay, so black-white was definitely the correct color. Vanishing Verse is good, but there's a lot of really good multicolor creatures in the set. And Thunderous Orator can be an absolute beating. I mean, we have... So it copies other creatures' abilities. So we have a Killian that it can pick up lifelink from, a Leech Fanatic. Dueling Coach is a trap. So, I mean, I don't know that we really need anything else for this deck. I'll just put it in the side, I guess. I think our deck's kind of built. Wow, and the Combat Professor came around. Now, this was wide open. Okay, let's just wrap up the draft here. Okay. So let's jump into the deck build here. We only have to make a few cuts, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, this is going to be our final build. Very, very happy with how this draft came together. Let's see how it plays out. And into game number 1 here. So this is definitely a keep. Got a nice 2-drop here. Opponent's on blue-red. Okay. Nice draw. So we'll play Leech Fanatic. Hopefully this survives. So we're just going to slam this Sparring Regiment on turn 3. Start bashing. So then leaving mana up is a little suspicious. We pretty much win when you resolve Sparring Regimen, so I'm not going to play it into open mana. There are tons of counterspells in this set. So we really want to make sure that we can get that Sparring Regimen to resolve. Okay, so on Pop Quiz... Yeah, like, Sparring Regimen gets negated, I would be really sad. I don't know if that's right to play around the counter there, but... felt right. Okay, so they tap our creature. And now we get to play Sparring Regimen. And we'll grab our Inkling Summoning. Is better than Pests here. And no flying. And we'll see if they block. Happy if they trade here, this is fine. 2-drop for a 3-drop, not too bad. The opponent plays their 5th land. And Ogiar Battleseer. 3/4 haste, taps to scry 1. So normally I'd probably just play the Inkling Summoning, but I really want to make sure that we can hit our 4th land drop here. So I'm going to Study Break. Okay, and they scry in response, it's fine. And we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna go to our hand and we're gonna discard. Let's go with Rise. We're not getting to 6 mana anytime soon. We really need to get to this 4th land here. And we'll hit. And at least we get to keep up Professor's Warning. If they try to remove our creature, we can protect it, and then we'll have a 4/4 coming in next turn. Okay, so another Argyar, no attacks. Okay, 4th land, that's nice. I think we're just supposed to play our Combat Professor here. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's go with Combat Professor. Build our board. Give it to the Leech Fanatic. I think we could trade. But we also have Study Break next turn, so I think we're just going to wait. Let's just wait. Because assuming they... Let's just say they use their turn to play that 4/4. We could tap 2 creatures and have some really good attacks next turn. Okay. That's very suspicious. Let's just hit them in the air. We'll hit them for 4 with Professor. Like they've got to commit to the board here. They can't just keep taking hits from Combat Professor. And I like our flyer. And again, we still have Professor's Warning available should they try to interact with Combat Professor. Okay, we're going to get some scries. Okay, they like it. They kept it on top. And let's see what that mana was kept up for. Resolves, we pass. And... okay, practical research, pretty good. Hopefully we'll kill them before they get a chance to deploy those cards. They discard the 4/4, okay. A heads-up play from the opponent here to scry, draw, then scry again. So they like that one, keep that on top. 7 cards in hand. Let's see what they got. And they're up to 8 mana here. Okay, Galazeth. We do have an answer for it. Okay. Alright, I like to be drawing lands here. This is actually really nice. So let's see. We could do this pre-combat. Yeah, let's tap them down. This way we have good attacks with Leech Fanatic and with Combat Professor. So we'll give Combat Professor +1/+0 as a 4/4, and then we'll attack with Leech Fanatic, and Leech Fanatic will be a 4/4. So we have 2 good attacks here. We do have a trick up. So we have Professor's Warning available if they want to try something here. And then... okay, not too bad. So we'll go for the Indestructible. I want to go for the counter because we still trade with Galazeth. So this still enables the attack. Opponent down to 3, and then Thunderous Orator. Okay, so if they don't have another flying threat, something along those lines, we've got a nice lethal next turn. Let's see what they've got here. Still 4 cards in hand. This game is definitely not over. Okay, Explosive Welcome. That's pretty nice. And Grinning Ignis. Counter on Galazeth. I don't know that I would have put it on Galazeth. I mean, well, they don't know that I have a removal spell, but probably want to kill that thing anyway, right? We'll play our land. We have access to 6 mana. So 6 mana is Pest Summoning, Closing Statement on end step. We don't really have an attack. I don't want to just throw away a creature here. Yeah, so this way, if we put the counter on Orator, we're going to play Spectre next turn. And we're going to give the Orator flying. And hopefully they can't draw into an answer. Okay, they chose to top, but they don't know the Orator's going to fly next turn. They might think they have the ground under control here. Alright, Bouncing Ignis, that's a little scary. For Elemental Masterpiece, not good enough. Okay. Oh wow, nice. Okay, so I think Spellbinder's better. We'll force them to... If they have something they want to interact with us, they'll need to do it before combat. And this is also a flyer, so Thunderous Orator will get flying. Okay, they got the counter. Okay. One more turn. That would have happened either way, whichever card we played. So, no hard feelings there. What do you got? Sludge Mage, fine. Maelstrom Muse, another flyer, okay. The game continues. They found an answer. Okay, we're getting some attacks in. I think we're fine with this. We could block with a Pest, but our life total is not at risk here. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to play Spectre. We have an attack with Orator, so it'll be a 4/4. They will be forced to chump block. We know they have no cards in their hand, and no onboard tricks. All they can do is scry. So we're going to attack with Orator. Nothing else. Counter on Orator, so we've got a 4/4 Flying Vigilance. Oh, and Lifelink. Okay. So we also have lethal 2 ways next turn, so they've got to find something really special. Because we can attack and trigger Spectre's ability. So even if they find another flyer, I think we've got the game locked up here. Scoop. Alright, we got it. There you go. Game 1. Let's move on to game number 2. Okay. I like this hand. Only 2 lands, but we've got 3 2-drops, so the deck is going to operate pretty nicely here. And Killian is a removal lightning rod, so I think we're going to lead on Orator. Okay. Good creature from our opponent here. So let's lead on Orator. We do have an answer to that Dragon's Guard Elite, so hopefully they just dump a bunch of resources into it. And we can Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Okay, so they're on Witherbloom. Black-green. Reckless Amplemancer, and no attack. Okay. So let's just be mana efficient here. Umbral Juke is what we're going to take here. This way they can't, unless they draw something obviously, but they can't cast either of these spells next turn. Okay, and no attacks. Oh, it had flying. Oops. Oh well. Alright, we missed 2 points there. Hopefully that doesn't bite us. No blocks. Nah, no blocks. We have lifelink. If they want to race, I'm fine with that. I don't think they're going to be able to produce as much damage as us here. Sure, Lash of Malice. Okay. Let's just play Killian. And we'll get this lifelink race started. And hopefully we draw another land. Again, I would love for them to just commit resources to this Dragon's Guard Elite. It would be really nice. Okay, that's... I'm going to play the Pledge Mage. Okay. Oh, right. Killian reduces everything, too. God, that card is busted. Okay, so I think we're just going to Onslaught the 5/5, actually. More of an immediate threat. And let's just jam with these two. Gain 4. Lose 4. And we have mana available for Study Break, so they're probably going to Umbral Juke here. We'll sack Orator if that's the case. Okay. Study Break in response. Tap their creatures. And we'll grab Inkling Summoning. And we're going to sack Orator. Okay, we have 4 mana available. So let's... Do you want to play 2 2-drops or the Spectre? Not sure. I think it's Spectre, because Spectre's going to block. We could force them to use their turn. Like, if they want to attack with the Amplemancer, they need to be able to pump it. Again, I think an attack here would actually be pretty greedy from them, considering we're gaining 2 life a turn. Okay, so we got a Rise of Exodus coming. Opponent's checking the graveyard. Okay, not what I thought. So we've got Pestilent Cauldron. Discard a card to make a pest. Okay. Okay, land. Yep, we'll just hit him in the air for 2. Okay, what does this do again? Alright, so each opponent mills equal to the amount of life they gained. Exile 4 cards from a graveyard, draw a card. Okay, I think that card's bad. Pay 4 to draw a card. A little bit too expensive. And we can double spell here. I think we'll go for the Apprentice. If we draw some tricks, we're going to be able to pump up some of our flyers. So I think we're going to do this. Okay, so they draw a card. See if they get to activate that more than once this game. Okay, pass. Okay, so we'll hit for 4. And let's play our flyer, definitely. So Arrogant Poet. And I don't know that it matters, but okay. Harness Infinity. Exchange your hand in graveyard. So what do they get back? Lash, Umbral Juke, and the Pledge Mage. Pretty good. Yeah. Let's play out some more creatures. Want to make sure we have... Okay, lashing our flyer. Makes sense. And then this way, we're going to sack the Eager First Year if they play Umbral Juke. Wow. Drawing like champions here at the end of the game. Okay, no Umbral Juke yet. It is an instant, which is fine. We'll just sack the first year. Okay, just an attack with the Poet, I think. And we will pay the 2, of course. If they juke now, obviously we're just sacking first year. If they play the 2/1. Wow, no block? Maybe they played it too late? That was weird. Okay. Pledge Mage, sure. Bondric's Pledge Mage, okay. So, they've only got... Alright, do we chump it? I don't think so. Maybe we can chump next turn. We have enough going on in terms of life total. Okay, alright, so that 6th land is game. So we can attack with Poet and Spectre. And then trigger the Spectre's ability. So we'll attack with both. We'll give flying. And the scoop. Good game. All right, game 2 in the bag. Let's move on to game number 3. Another good hand. I'm happy with this one. Let's see what our opponent's on. So blue. I think we'll start on the Leech Fanatic. Okay, curate. That's fine. Mari Pledge Mage. It's pretty good against us. Let's play first year and pass. I'm not going to 2-for-1 myself with an attack. Another curate. Digging for a red, I'm assuming. Looks like our opponent might be color screwed here. Okay, so we're just going to use our mana. I'm not going to use my whole turn just to play a single Professor's Warning. And we can start attacking next turn. Like if we attack with first year, you give it indestructible with the Professor's Warning, and then it pumps itself. We can attack through that Pledge Mage. Let's see. So they do have access to red mana now with the treasure. Thrill of possibility. Okay. A lot of not committing to the board happening on our opponent's side. Okay, they got their mountain. And Maelstrom Muse. Okay. Good card. We don't have an attack with the Spectre anymore, unfortunately. So we're just going to continue to build our board. I wish we were attacking. We unfortunately couldn't really punish the fact that they were missing their second color for a little while. So let's hope they don't slam some big bomb here. Alright, Frost Trickster's fine. Tapping Spectre. Okay, Pledge Mage. Sure. White. And Rip Apart. Okay, so they're definitely trying to enable an attack with this Maelstrom Muse. So normally I do the counter, but I think I want to go indestructible actually. This way we prevent an attack with that Maelstrom Muse. Okay, good. And then ooh, probably just Rise the Maelstrom Muse. It's going to be a little more efficient mana-wise. And then it enables an attack with Spectre and the Eager First Year. I mean, I'd be happy to trade Eager First Year for the Pledge Mage. Yeah, I think we're just going to Rise Maelstrom Muse. I grab Creative Outburst. Sure, like one of their expensive instants. There are triggers. Doesn't matter, it's tapped. And then we'll just grab the Inkling Summoning. And let's jam. Okay. So we're in an okay spot here. Another Pledge Mage. Okay, what do you got? What's in the graveyard? Reconstruct? History? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, they get Thrill and Serpentine Curve back. Ooh, good draw. Yep, so we're just going to Study Break. Let's get those blockers out of the way, and we'll just drop another creature in our second main phase. Alright, Lifelink, Pest Summoning, and, I mean, doesn't matter whether I do this now or later. Yeah, we'll just play Orator, it's fine. And let's hit. Go up to 25. Our opponent plays a big Serpentine Curve. I'm like kind of okay with that. Big ol' 8/8. Okay. Alright, nice draw there, actually. So we can go Apprentice. I wish we could double spell with the Pest Summoning for a chump block, but that's alright. We'll go Inkling Summoning. Flying on Pledge Mage. I'm assuming we're getting a block from Frost Trickster on the 3/1. And then we attack with our flyers. Let's see how they choose to block here. If we lose Orator, that's fine too. But yeah, that one makes sense. Pledge Mage. Opponent down to 6. Feeling pretty good about our chances here. So what could they have? Okay, passing. A bunch of flyers. What do you got? Burying Books maybe? Nothing. Okay. Good game. On to the next one. Fine. I'll play this. Flooding a little bit. Hopefully we don't draw any more lands. But we're gonna Professor Symbology for the summoning. And then next turn we'll probably play Pledge Mage so that we can follow up with Inkling Summoning. No blocks here. Not super protective of my life total. But Brackish Trudge on turn 3. We're going to block it. So I think that means we don't attack. Well, if they attack with the Trudge, we're going to use Symbology to block. We'll just play Pledge Mage. No attacks. And if we are in a race here, I think we'd want to block the Brackish Trudge over the Amplimancer, because we're not taking hits for 4 here. So, I mean, I know that there's ways for them to get this back in Witherbloom, but not like super concerned about that. Okay, Mortality Spear. This is fine. Let's just use our mana, play the 2/2 drops, and pass the turn. Again, now we have a lifelinker out, so we're a little less concerned about a race. We get an attack with the Amplimancer here, no blocks. Okay. So again, we have ways to pump our creatures. We can get them through with study breaks. We don't want to trade off 2/2s. I don't think that's good for us. So opponent now can activate their ability. Oh wow, nice draw here. So we get to double spell. We're not using a Rise of Exodus on a Reckless Amplimancer. That's not happening. So let's see what's in their hand. If it's like Sorcery Speed removal. Combat Trick wouldn't be bad. We could remove that. So at least we know what's going on in this combat too. Bookworm. Okay, so you're nowhere close to casting that now. So Bookworm now costs 10. And we have an attack with our flyer, which I'm happy to take. We're not attacking with our 2/2s. Reckless Amplimancer can just kill them. And oh yeah, I should have played the Inkling Summoning first. I forgot about the trigger from the Silverquill Apprentice. That's all right. Let's see. Scry from the opponent. And they top it. Land and Professor Zoomancy. Okay, pretty good. Now they can't activate the Amplemancer, so they're attacking. Yeah, no block. That's super greedy. Sure, when I have lifelinkers on the battlefield. Okay, so closing statement's cheaper, but Rise, we're just gonna use all of our mana. Up our lifelinker here, since we have attacks with everything. Yeah, okay. Because we know what's in their graveyard. Now they could chump to get the Brackish Trudge back, but I don't really care about that. Opponent down to 6. Gotta have something. Even if they play a flyer, I mean, just closing statement, finish them off. Sure, Mage Duel, that's 5 damage. So the trigger from Apprentice is still lethal here, because we'll play Pest Summoning and give one of our creatures +1/+0. Are they debating attacking? Really? Alright, so Pest Summoning, we know it's in their hand. Yeah, this just works. So Pest Summoning, +1/+0 of our creatures, and the scoop. Good game. On to the next one. Eesh. Okay. So, I actually think this is a keep. Because this hand operates. Like, we have the 2-drop, we have a way to interact. And if we draw a single land, we have the Mage Hunter's Onslaught. So we have a couple of turns to try to find our second color. And our opponent getting off to a slowish start here, which is nice for us. So we'll drop the Poet. Plains off the top. Plains off the top. Ugh, okay. So this is possibly the worst turn 3 you can imagine, of course. And we'll just hit for 2. Pass the turn. And hopefully they just use their turn to play like a 4-drop or something. Okay, Thrill of Possibility. Serpentine Curve for 3. Okay. Okay, well, at least we drew a castable spell. Let's see what we can hit here. Okay, it's not a bad hit. And now we're aware they also have Draconic Intervention, so they do have a board wipe. So we've got to be careful about that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure if that's right or not. I don't want to pay 5 to deal them 2. That doesn't seem worth it. Like, I deal 2 and they just hit me back for 3. Reconstructing history here. Sure. Not bad. See if they want to attack. No attack. Yeah, that's probably correct. Okay, so 4th land, but no white still. We'll just Mage Hunter's Onslaught and hit for 2. And at least we're using our mana. Really want to hit a white source here. We hit a land. I'll probably play Combat Professor, keep up Professor's Warning. Hey, we got our white. So, punished a little bit, but... So that Draconic Intervention actually can go X = 4 right now. So I think because of that, we want to continue to play around that Draconic Intervention if we can. And I think it's Inkling Summoning. But we could end up in a race. That's a tough choice. We'll go with Pest. I mean, we might end up in a racing situation here. And we don't want to be taking 5 a turn. Let's just see. All right, Retriever Phoenix, very good card. So we get to learn for environmental sciences. And we are going to take a hit for 7. Ouch. Okay, sciences, they gain 2 up to 15. Okay, back to us. Alright, so we have to play the Pest Summoning. We need to be able to chump block that 5/5. Is there any reason to wait? This is tough. Combat Professor puts more pressure on them. Pest Summoning chump blocks. This is really tough. Because we need to be doing damage ourselves too, but... yeah, we'll hit for 4. And hopefully they don't have a shock here. That would be brutal. Okay, good. And we hit them for 4. And I actually think we're going to pass because they have that Draconic Intervention. If they go for that, we really need to keep our Arrogant Poet alive. Okay, so just an attack for 5. We will chump block. Gain 1 to 12. And let's see what they got. Professor of Symbology. Learning 4. Introduction to Annihilation. Okay. But don't cast it. That's interesting. So we draw Study Break. We have 5 mana. So we could, like, Study Break, hit for 6 down to 5. Follow up with a 2-drop. And keep up Professor's Warning. I mean, that feels pretty good. So whenever they learn, they get to bring this back. We can afford 2 life. And this would definitely incentivize a block. And we still have Professor's Warning. Oof. Okay. Buried. That was a pretty brutal burying books. But again, because we played Combat Professor, we do have blocks here. Oh, again, I think we're in a race situation. The Pest. It can attack as a 2/2 next turn. But I think our life total is a little more important here. And Pop Quiz. Okay. For the 4/4. And just passes, alright. So now, we have an attack with Combat Professor, so we can give him Self-Vigilance. Another Burying Books, maybe? No block, okay. We need the lifelinkers. Because if we play Killian, we can't also play Study Break. So I think we have to pass. Because again, I'm really concerned about this Draconic Intervention. They can Draconic Intervention for 4, which would keep their 5/5 alive. Okay, so introing the Combat Professor. Do we tap their attackers? I don't think so. Okay, hitting for 4. And this way, we're going to put a counter on it. This way, we are attacking with a 4/4 lifelink next turn if this survives. Okay, negate, sure. I feel like we had to go for that. It's still just a 2 for 2. It's not terrible, but we are under some pressure here for sure. So we're just gonna deploy threats. We're taking at minimum 7. And we can't really play around this Draconic Intervention anymore. If they want to, they can do x equals 5. They can do 1 for 4. Yeah, they can do it for 4. So they could Draconic Intervention and keep their 5/5 alive. But let's just play this. If they do Draconic Intervention, we want our good creatures. Okay. No block. Elemental Summoning, okay. Okay, so wait a minute. If we play Silver Quill Apprentice... No, we can't play Apprentice and Study Break. If we Study Break... Well, if we Study Break, we go... That's 5, 6? We're 1 short? Oh, wait. Okay, so if we grab... We study... Yes. Oh my god, I think we might have lethal here. So we Study Break. We pump first year. That's 5. Sparring Regimen triggers 6. And then we play 1 more instant, and that's 7. Oh my god, do they have an answer for this? Okay. Come on. No! Oh, man. Oh, that would have been so good. Oh, that would have been so good. I don't think we can win from here. I probably shouldn't have said good game. That felt like the game. Yeah, it was the game. Okay. Alright. Wow, that was so close. What a game. That was so good. Okay. Good game. On to the next one. This game's a little rough. Thankfully, Professor of Symbology, I think, makes this hand playable. Because we can discard when we learn instead of getting a summoning out of the sideboard. So we could Professor on turn 2, like discard probably Arrogant Poet. Ooh, nice. Okay. So Symbology. I think we're discarding Pause. Feels right. As we draw another land, we're playing Spellbinder. Sure. We draw another land. Where's Poet? Poet? Oh, nice. Okay. Alright, so I think we're going to go turn 3 Spellbinder. And then we'll see what we draw. Okay, so we did hit our 4th land. That's nice. Okay, so we've got a game now. I'm glad we kept that hand. It ended up working out. grab Brackish Trudge. I think Brackish Trudge, it just keeps them off their curve here. Like, they'll have to play Poet next turn, which is not an ideal turn 3. No block. We have... What is interesting? Yeah, I think we're going to start... Yeah, we'll just go Professor. We know they don't have removal unless that last card they drew is a removal spell. And this way, we have blocks on their creatures. We still get to deal 4 damage. And then next turn, we'll get going with Sparring Regimen. And have access to Professor's Warning. Excellent. So Regimen. Inkling Summoning. And Scoop. Okay. Alright, they had enough. Good game. Jeez, another rough one. I think... Oh, God. Yeah, we have to mulligan this. I mean, if we draw a 4th land, but we have to mulligan this. This one's much better. I think we have to ditch Combat Professor? Study Break, maybe? I mean, we already have a turn 3 play, so... Maybe it's Study Break? No. No, we need something to do on turn 2. We need to be... Like, if we are getting beaten down early, Study Break might be nice. I think it's Combat Professor. Yeah, it's Combat Professor, because... If they play a 2-drop and we don't have anything to do, like, we might need to be able to tap some creatures down. Study Break also gets us a threat for turn 3, which is nice. Alright, so let's tap their creature down. We'll grab Inkling Summoning. And then see what they do. Okay, so they played a 2-1. So Pest Summoning's looking pretty nice right now. So if we drop Sparring Regimen next turn, we'll be able to attack with a 3-2 and then have blocks for Eye Twitch. Arrogant Poet. Yeah, that Pest Summoning's looking pretty nice right now. Okay, so Sparring Regimen. Take a little bit of damage back if they want to attack here. Which obviously they will. But this way we keep the flyer back. Start to build counters. If they have removal here, that's awful, but it is what it is. We'll take our hit for 4. And then next turn we'll play Pest Summoning. Assuming we don't draw land. Okay, so we draw a land. Still think Pest Summoning is right. As this would force them to use life. And we have an attack. They can't block the 4-3 profitably here. So now, if they want to attack with the Poets, they have to spend 4 life, which is good for us. I would make that trade. Excellent, we get a pass. So we have another attack in the air, so let's just go ahead and do that. We don't care about the pests. The pests are keeping their team back, so we're not going to attack with those. And then we can Leech Fanatic. And next turn, or on their end step, we can Study Break. If they try to remove... Okay, all they do is a Scry. If they try to remove our Inkling Summoning, we have the Professor's Warning available. We're in a pretty good spot here, I think. Sure. Oh no, they just put... I think they just gave us lethal with that. Because we tap their creatures, and then we attack for 6. Tap the 2 flyers. And... okay, yeah. Good game. Alright, let's see if we can get the trophy. I mean, this one's looking pretty good. We're definitely keeping this. We'll probably go... probably go turn 2, Killian. Sparring Regimen turn 3. Normally I would play the Orator first to try and draw removal, but... I think the possibility of getting that counter is going to be too good. And our opponent takes a mulligan. I mean, I'll take it. He's on island. Play swamp. See what they play. If there's any super obvious removal in these colors. Okay, Overgrown Arch. So yeah, I actually think that definitely increases our desire to play a Killian here over the Orator. Because Killian can get through that. If they have, like, Mage Duel is removal in those colors, that's not going to be good enough. If they have a Berry, using Berry on turn 3, I'd be okay with that. I mean, we wouldn't be under any pressure. Again, same as before, though. I don't want to play Sparring Regiment into open mana. So let's see if we can get them to use something in combat. You know, I feel like displaying Regiment here is just too good. Hopefully they don't have a counter here. Excellent, no counter spell. Whew. I know that looked a little silly. Really wanted to make sure that we could resolve it. But too good for mana efficiency not to just like play it now. And we'll take the Inkling Summoning. We are going to be beating down in the air here. Okay. No plays. So, again, do we miss a point of damage? Get them to try to play something in combat so we can resolve Combat Professor? I think so. So we'll hit for 3. And again, if they have counters, I'd rather keep Combat Professor, and we can still use all of our mana this turn. Okay, opponent gaining life, sure. And then, okay, Eureka Moment. That is a painful Eureka Moment. Pass your turn 4. Passing again. Okay, now we have access to 5 mana. Again, same thing. Let's just attack first. Orator gets Lifelink and Menace. Sure, Burying Books. Alright, this does enable an attack on the Orator. Or block, rather. So they get to block the Orator. Or the first year. I think we'll save the Professor's Warning. They can just sack the Arch in response if we were to pump it. What's better? I think using up our mana is going to be better. Inkling Summoning and then Arrogant Poet. Gaining life, sure. And pop quiz. Okay. They're going to have to commit to the board here soon. Because they're taking 6 in the air. 7 with the Sparring Regimen, 8 with Combat Professor. Okay, they got Containment Breach on the Learn. So they're going to get to destroy Sparring Regimen. Alright. And passing again. Great. Okay. Fine by me. So we have 6 mana here. We'll drop Professor. No counters. Fantastic. And we'll bash them for a bunch. So we're going to put the +1/+0 on the first year to enable an attack there. If they want to chump block, that's fine with me. We don't have lethal this turn anyway. And then we'll hit with these, and I will pay the 2 on Arrogant Poet. Our life total is not at risk here. I don't want to give them the out of blocking the Poet if they want. So Orator's going to gain flying as well. Another Burying Books, perhaps? What do you got? What do you got? Yeah, Burying Books. Okay, fair enough. So taking 8 or taking 4. You have a Lash as well? I mean, please Lash the Orator. That would be fantastic. So we could Professor's Warning in response to put a counter on it. Just gaining the life. Interesting. Sure. Okay, don't have mana for Rise. What is going on over on that side of the battlefield? Just keep beating down. Is there a board wipe we should play around, maybe? I don't know, but we're lifting this. Okay. Now you're blocking, right? Okay, gain life up to 10. Sack it to learn, I'm assuming. See if they have like a fractal summoning or something. Wouldn't be very good here, but... Okay. So probably going to discard then. Interesting. Interesting. So hexproof. So we could... Yeah, let's just... No. Do we kill this thing? I don't know. Do we kill this thing? I don't think so. I don't think we kill this thing. We don't lose to that creature being on the battlefield. And I think if they had a board wipe, they would have used it that turn. So we can play out Killian. There you go. 7 wins, we got there. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing for future draft videos just like this one. See you next time.